Alright, let's hop into a game. No, play the London. Okay, nice win. Yep, that's me right there, becoming the one thing that I swore to destroy. A London system player. You see, me and the London system have got a bit of a bad history. I always lose against the London system. No matter what I do, my opponent just plays the same moves over and over and grinds me down. Loss after loss after loss. But then I thought, if I can't beat them, why don't I join them? Right, d4, let's go, play the London. Bishop f4, I think this is the move, it's a pretty simple system. G6 is interesting. I think it's like one of the main ways to play against London. It's quite solid. Opponent plays bishop g7, c3. I'll probably, yeah, bishop d3 looks like the right move. Knight d2 next. Opponent plays bishop g4, which is quite interesting. I might kick that out with h3. Looks like quite a solid position for us. Queen c8 is a very odd move. I'm not sure what that's for. It supports the bishop, but I don't think that has much purpose. The knight was already supporting the bishop. h3, I kick the bishop out, I play queen e2, just to keep my options open on which side I castle. I quite like castling queenside in London, I find that I get a great attack that way. Okay, h5. I don't really understand that. Okay, castles queenside and a6. My opponent probably going for b5. e4 looks like a good move in the centre. Just grabbing a bit of space. My opponent's king's still in the centre, so I'm not sure. Maybe if I could break open the centre, that would be quite good. Yeah, so b5. I don't really think b4 is a problem though, because I've got c4. Maybe I should think about expanding the centre. The knight would jump to d5. Oh no, that doesn't look that good actually. Knight d5 is attacking my bishop. That's a bit of a pain. I think I'll just retreat, I'll be okay. Come all the way back to h2. So the opponent does play b4, which is interesting. c4, is the knight... No. So knight comes back to b6. Quite an interesting position. My opponent's king's still in the centre, but look like I'm in a little bit of trouble on the queen side. If I go with b3, then there's a5 and a4, which don't look too good for me. Can always jump my knight into the centre, but I'm not sure if that's the right time for it now. There we go, c5. The knight comes in the centre that I can attack it with bishop c4. Or bishop e4, but I think I prefer bishop c4. Okay, this is interesting. I'll play knight e4 now, because I'm uncovering my rook's attack on the knight. And the knight's trapped. I don't think there's any way for my opponent to defend it either, so we should be winning the piece here, which is quite nice. Okay, so my opponent plays knight e5, which is a bit strange, just sacrificing the piece. But I don't think that was the best call of action. I'll take that with the knight. Got a great position here with all my knights and my bishop in the centre. Knight comes back. I'll trade off. And then thinking about taking. I don't think there's any tactics with knight takes g6, because there's always the intermezzo if bishop takes c4 first. Play rook e1, just a solid waiting move. Okay, takes. I would play queen takes. I'm threatening queen f7 now. Bishop. I'm just going to play f4, and now there's two threats. My opponent didn't see the mate, and there we go, nice win. And before we continue any further, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Algo-Rythm. Okay, white pieces again, nice. Wish my opponent good luck, and let's start. We've actually got the same rating, me and my opponent, both 90 and 38. We have g6 again. I'm going to go with the same plan. I'll switch things up. I'll play knight f3 first this time, instead of going with the pawn straight away. A double fianchetto setup, which is quite an uncommon thing to see. I'm just going to continue with this system. There might be a way I could punish my opponent better, but I'm not really sure here. I'll just continue with development. It's a similar position to last game, really. I've got plans for moving my queen. e6 is a bit of a strange move. I don't really think d5 is... Well, my opponent plays it anyway. Okay, castles queenside, so it would be a similar sort of attacking plan to last game. c5 is to be expected, really. I'm striking on the king side, my opponent's trying to strike on the queen side. Okay, now takes h5, I'll definitely sacrifice my the exchange for that. Play rook h1 as well, attacking the h5 pawn. I think I had bishop takes h7 there, with like a Greek gift style attack. I'm not sure though. That might still be viable, thinking about it, because the queen on f6 blocks the f7 pawn from coming forward. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty fun anyway. Queen takes h5, threatening mate. Ah, my opponent played rook e8 and the king's got a space. This is fine, I think we've still got a decent attack. Interesting position. What are we? We're down 2 pieces, which isn't that good. Oh no, sorry, we're down an exchange. We've got a pawn for a rook. Okay, I think bishop e3 looks pretty good here. I'm cutting off the f8 square for the king to go to, so now queen h7 is a mate threat again. I think my opponent has... Yeah, queen g6 prevents a lot of the threats that I had in the position. Okay, so it might not have been the best idea to sacrifice the exchange and then the bishop. I think this is still playable though, it should be okay. I can come back to h4, but then I'm kind of worried about bishop f6. And I've got to keep defending my knight as well. I don't really want queens on the g file. Not really fancying queen g4. Because then f6 and then queens are going to be forced off. Yeah, so I think queen h4 is the way to go, but bishop f6. Then I suppose I can just play knight f3 if bishop f6, so queen h4, and then I'll bring my rook lift to h3 and then put it on the g file. Might have some chances that way. Interesting, my opponent plays their knight to f6 rather than the bishop. I'll continue with my plan. Looking pretty... Okay, it's okay here. I am very active. And the rook that I don't have is like my opponent's rook in the corner. Knight e4 is interesting, I'll just take that straight away. And now continue with rook g3. Got some nice threats in the position here. Not really clear how we're going to win this though, honestly. Getting the rook on the g file is a big... Queen h7! What is my opponent doing? Opponent offers a take back, and unfortunately I'm going to have to decline. Good game. I feel a little bad, but it is what it is. I'll take what I can. Okay, here we are in the third game. Wish my opponent good luck. I'm having pretty good results with the London so far. I might have to consider it, but let's see what happens this game. I started out with knight c3 and sort of tricked my opponent to play d5, e3. I'll just continue with knight h5. Looks like it could be a problem, but my opponent don't go for it. I think in these scenarios the move is knight e4, and it's just sort of really annoying whenever I play against the London. This knight on e5 is just so annoying to deal with. c5, so my opponent's trying to strike back. c3, I think that's the idea of the London, you just strengthening the d4 pawn. You play the entire game around the e5 square. Knight d2, I might bring it to knight to f3 in a second. I think I will to defend this knight over here. Knight h5 is still kind of a problem. My opponent's hate switch thing is a bit odd, because now I can bring my rook to the c file, I think. Queen a5, is queen a5 well, my opponent plays it. I think it is a little bit of a problem. I've got to bring my knight back. I don't really want to trade queens. And then the bishop comes to b4 as well. That doesn't look so pleasant. I can't castle, otherwise I lose a knight. Knight f3 probably to come back and defend the d2 knight. So I've kind of gone a bit backwards here, but I think this is fine. It's not that big of a deal. Opponent drops a knight in. I mean, that's an okay move, but it's a little confrontational, I suppose. I can't take it because my knight's pinned. I think a3 kicking out the bishop. I would be okay with a trade now, like a queen trade, getting all the pieces off if I get the bishop pair. That looks pretty good, and especially because if the queens were traded off, then my bishops are super powerful, and the light squared bishop is just stuck in behind its pawn. Yeah, so it takes. My opponent could retreat here, but then I just castle kingside. Yeah, so yeah, my light squared and dark squared should be really good, but that my opponents would just be stuck behind the pawn. So I think that's a sufficient advantage for the endgame. But my opponent will have some central control. Could push e5 immediately, and in fact goes for f6. I mean, that's not a bad move. I don't really want my bishop to get hit by e5, so I could drop it back, I suppose. Bishop d6 looks pretty good to attack the rook, and then my bishop won't get hit by my opponent's like central pawn march. Rook could come to f7, or not really sure here. I'll play rook ac1. I'm gonna come into c7, probably get my rook on the 7th. You can always get like a 1 rook or 2 rooks on your opponent's 7th rank in an endgame. You're always doing really well. Got the control in the position. Material is equal at the minute, and my opponent does expand in the centre. I think this does weaken the light squares, but it should be fine for my opponent. I think rook c7 is the move here, just to get on the 7th rank. And yeah, my opponent is quite locked up here. e4, that's interesting. I think that I'm winning after bishop b5. Because my opponent can't play rook e7. So rook d8 is forced. And then if I play bishop e7 takes, but then rook takes. Let me calculate this again. Bishop takes. Yeah, so this is what my opponent plays. Interesting. I have to get the thinking cap on for a second. So takes, but then... Oh, I think I win the bishop at the end of it, because I can play rook takes and it comes with a check. Takes. Yeah, I think so. That looks good. Oh, the buzzer goes. I'm running low on time here. Okay, it's fine. So yeah, this is the variation. I win the bishop because it comes with a check. I can play bishop e6, that's a check. I win the pawn. This is pretty good. Rook c1, I'll try and trade off the rooks. Takes. Okay, I mean, I've only got 12 seconds, but this is a one endgame. I should be able to make something happen. Got lots of pre-moves. Just concentrate. I'll trade off some pieces. This would be a clutch win if I can do this. e4. I'll march this pawn forward. Okay, this is kind of okay. I'm queening here. Okay, nice. I can march this other pawn forward. Oh no, it's a stalemate trap. I can't. Well played to my opponent. That's unfortunate. I hate to say this, but the London system is pretty good. That's 2 wins and 1 unfortunate draw, but you definitely try it out. I'll do a theory video on it soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.